Hi everyone, good afternoon. So today we're going to check out Dune Spice Wars, which is now out of early access as of, I guess, 15 minutes ago. There is a new faction included with the 1.0 release for a total of 6. There is something called Conquest mode, which is, I guess, sort of a campaign. Anyway, like I said, or did I say it, this is a sponsored stream, so big shout out to Shiro Games. So now you have Battle of Arrakis, which is, I guess, the skirmish mode, Conquest, which is sort of the campaign, and the Duel, whatever this is, 2 factions. It's a 1 versus 1, I guess. And there are some tutorials. The tutorials are pretty basic, but they do, like, show you the absolute basics of how to actually play. We can cover that as we go. So here's the faction they added in 1.0. It's a pretty interesting mechanic, actually. If a neutral village becomes surrounded, it turns into a sanctuary and cannot be attacked by other factions, and it gives you some bonuses. It gives you authority, which you use to annex more territories. Authority is one of the more important resources in this game because it's used to expand, your territory. You can't really annex things without authority. And they give all your adjacent villages and territories a bonus. So it's a pretty interesting mechanic. I guess the downside is that you cannot betray anyone you have a truce with. So I think we can do normal. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, this is technically an RTS in the sense that it's a strategy and it's real-time. But it's not RTS in the sense of, let's say, the original Dune or something like StarCraft. It has more in common with grand strategy games. If you're familiar with Northgard by Shiro, it has a lot more in common with that. So, just in case you haven't seen this game before. That's what it is. You can pause anytime you like and think about what exactly you need to do. So you don't need to have pro gamer reflexes to play this well. And here are some extra bonuses that we'll get. So hegemony is a resource you build up that reflects the power of your faction. And you get extra bonuses when you reach certain thresholds. I guess they will make more sense once we actually start playing. Yeah, I played the OG Dune 2 back in the day, and I played it a lot. It almost gave me carpal tunnel, because for anyone who did play it back then, you remember, you could only select 1 unit at a time. There was no such thing as unit groups. If you had to move an army, you had to move it 1 unit at a time. So, yeah. You could have easily gotten carpal tunnel with that thing. Good times. And then came out Warcraft 1, where you could select 4 units at a time. That was a huge quality of life improvement. And then, of course, we got to infinite units in one single control group. So anyway, this is, I guess, the big map with territories we'll be fighting over. Here are the victory conditions. We had to defeat the opposing houses, own enough territories, and, I guess, ally the Fremen. We got development assets, which we can use to improve our territories, apparently. There are faction bonuses. Own the villages with a masterpiece gain +1 building slot. So masterpiece is like a special building that you build which doesn't get destroyed if your territory gets conquered. And I think it can also give the conquering faction some penalties if they take it. Just off top of my head. Virtuous standing. Every sanctuary provides extra Landrats standing and more influence. Yeah, so the sanctuary is basically, like we said earlier, a neutral village that's surrounded. It turns into a sanctuary that cannot be attacked by opposing factions. Lonely quest. Upon resolving any discovery outside of Akasi territory, the champion gains power, health, and the 50% supply recovered immediately. So champion is like a special single unit that you can assign, which basically gets various bonuses, and I think he also gives you hegemony when you kill other units with him. Again, just off top of my head. And the discoveries are just things like on the map that we can interact with to get various resources, some bonuses, and stuff like that. This sounds like potentially kind of powerful. With enough of these bonuses stacked up, you could have one like extremely powerful unit, which definitely sounds fun. Okay, I guess we can pick that up. So now we can choose where we want to go. Famous Summit. Reach the summit before your opponents and keep it under control. Taking control of the strategic territory before your opponents is critical. Okay, this sounds interesting. Bit of a different objective. Gain sovereignty over broken land. Okay. And the reward is one bonus out of these. So the champion gets more stats, more influence production, which is used for like voting, and more authority, which is used to annex territories basically. And there's a secondary objective. Alright, sure, we can do this. And then you can also choose 2 councillors, which basically give you extra bonuses. For each sanctuary on the map, you gain more Solari production, which is money basically, and reduced masterpiece construction cost. And each masterpiece produces 2 Solari. Can name second champion of a different type. Military units start with 1 more experience level. Well, this sounds like a great synergy with that bonus we picked up earlier. Yeah, this one. Can use Landsrat immunity on a resolution to become uneligible. Gain free Landsrat standing upon building a masterpiece. Abandoning a village refunds 100% of the authority capture cost. Every masterpiece in a neutral village gives authority production. Masterpieces are built 100% faster. So I assume the point of this is to avoid negative consequences of some of the resolutions. And some of the negative consequences, from what I remember, can be pretty bad. Siege activity low. So territory modifiers. Plus 50% intel production. No spies. Sell intel to the chomp rather than spies. No sandworm. Interesting. Because normally, in this game, you have to pay a tax regularly, an imperial tax, which you use spies for, basically. But here there's no spies. And no sandworm. Okay, the other one does not have any special bonuses. Alright, let's try this out, because this is quite different compared to a normal skirmish with regular rules. Is RNG a thing in this game? Not nearly as much as in XCOM. So, yeah, but not really. Maybe to some extent. Okay, let's give it a shot. I'm curious how this will play out. Hold Observatory Mountain to gain plus 100 hegemony production. Okay. I have not played a scenario in here that has no spice production. Okay, well, here we are. Let's pause. So this is the edge of the map. Yeah, so wait, there's no imperial tax at all on this map. Right. You can just sell intel instead of spice, but you don't have to pay imperial tax at all. Alright. Because that's normally a big, important mechanic in this game. You have to pay imperial tax regularly. Seems like that's not a thing in this scenario. Alright, that's our scout. Let's just set him to auto. And we'll grab some units. So what can our units do here? The target suffers -4 armor. Sounds pretty nice. The target suffers plus 10% damage received. Ranged. Melee attacks only deal 50% damage. Suffers pinned down while engaged in melee combat. Plus 200% attack speed when no ally units are close. Okay, interesting. Pretty low health though. Yeah, this dude is squishy. He's a squishy damage dealer, basically. And the Squire is more of a tank debuffer, I suppose. So there is research, but we can't do that just yet. There's the council, we can't do that yet either, and there's espionage. Okay, so one of our bonuses here from the councilor is that, yeah, we can name a second champion of a different type. So it has to be a different unit type. It might be good to wait to unlock some of these more advanced units for that, we'll see. Okay, there's a village. We can also pop some extra information. So this is wind strength. It affects water production in the region. And this should be... okay, that's minerals. There should be an event over here, hopefully. Yeah, so here's a discovery we can interact with. We have two options. We can send a military unit, and we'll get a second ornithopter, so a second scout. We can also send an agent. Not right now, but it's an option to send an agent and get 83 intel. So intel is very important here because that's what you can sell. Early on, the second scout will probably be best. We can just grab that right away. Right, no spies on this map, because normally your number one priority when you start playing on any map, other than a specific scenario like this, is to find spies, which tends to be a bit rare, but you want to take control of the territories with spies as soon as possible, because you pretty much can't play without spies, due to the fact you have to pay an imperial tax regularly. If you don't have spies, you can't pay the tax, and that's bad for you. Only two things are certain in life: death and taxes. Alright, there's our second scout. Now I can send him manually, but I'll keep him on auto. Oh, what's this? Acid lakes. Ground units lose minus 10% health per day. Plus 100% research hub resource production. Plus 1000 hegemony. Well, we obviously want to grab that ASAP. Now, with this faction, you kind of have to plan ahead of time which villages you want to turn into sanctuaries, because it's going to be ones that are surrounded. I guess the best candidates will be next to zone walls, most likely. I do probably want to take this one myself. Well, it's basically the only one right next to our outpost.
There is no great task than serving you.
Now, every village has special modifiers, which you can check in advance. So, right here, these are village traits. That's also part of our main bonus here. If we do create a sanctuary, all of the neighboring villages will get +1 instance of the village's traits. So +2 intel production when the village has at least one building of each type. There are 3 types of buildings, and a strong network, +1 intel production per statecraft building. Yeah, there are economic, statecraft, and military buildings. Alright, what do we have here? Another village. Alright. One of our units did get killed, but that's okay. Upkeep 8 Solari. Alright, we can afford that. Oh yeah, you need to stay inside the circle. There, so we annexed the village. Now we can hire some militia here for defense. And we have 2 building slots. You can pay extra materials to get more building slots, but the cost goes up the more slots you unlock. It can get pretty expensive. Now, we can also start some research here. There are 4 research trees in here, as you can see. And, well, there are a lot of things to unlock here. Where are extra units? Should be in here. Unlocks the War Banner unit right here. The War Banner requires fuel cells, which I'll need like a special resource for, that I'll have to find. A quasi non-mechanical units in a large area gain plus 10% power. Non-mechanical units of faction in conflict suffer minus 10% power. Plus 100% damage against flying units. Ranged attacks have a 30% chance to destroy armor. Drone. Do not attract sandworm, consume Solari to heal. Okay. Well, the first thing we should probably get is local dialect studies, because this will make it cheaper to annex new villages in terms of authority. That's pretty much the most important resource for expansion. This is the resource that will cap your expansion. So if you want to expand, you cannot do it without authority, not really. It's pretty much the most important resource at the start of the game. So I see no reason to start research from anything other than local dialect studies. Okay, now we can build something in here. We do have a bonus to plus create production. We'll need that for buildings. And yeah, more building slots also use that. Might be best to just get that then. 20 Solari upkeep. We can afford it, but things will get pretty expensive pretty quickly. Now, one important building to get somewhere, like in the middle of your territory, is this maintenance center here. It's minus 25% upkeep in allied villages in the region and its neighbors. So that's pretty important. Alright, so next we want this acid lake. We definitely want that. Minus 10% health per day to all ground units. That seems a bit crazy. But that's a huge research bonus and hegemony bonus, so I definitely want that. Let's wait for the second unit here. Who's defending? Okay, 3 units are defending. I'll probably need more than 2 then. The lack of spice in this scenario is tripping me up a little bit. Because that's a big part of this game. And it's just absent in this scenario. By the way, you can speed up time up to double speed, in case you were wondering. Alright, any other discoveries here? We're about to finish one. Oh no, that's a village. Sometimes you can get authority from discoveries that can speed up the expansion quite a bit. So I will be trying to look for that. Alright, I'll probably need a 3rd unit. Okay, what's this? Ruins. Spend 400 plus crit. Yeah, see? And gain 36 authority. So we probably want that. Wait, do I need to control that territory first? Oh yeah, right, you must own one of the neighbors. Which I cannot actually do, because this territory here has nothing in it. I can't annex it because there's no village. I'll have to go around to get this. Like through here. Alright, we got local dialect studies. Let's pause for a second here. We can unlock agents. We can unlock maintenance center, which I don't need yet. Unlocks the armory to customize units' equipment. Okay, I don't remember that. I might grab this then. Alright, let's grab that. Sounds good. Waiting for the 3rd unit here. And what's this? Fremen mercenary. So I would have to send an agent here, which I can't do yet. Unit will never recover health. Enemies engaged in combat with this unit suffer disoriented. Minus 15% power. That sounds pretty strong. Use agents to get 28 manpower. Hire them for a raid. Spend 1000 solari. Get a marauder and a ranged marauder. So these guys will never recover health. While in combat, any nearby unit dead heals 50 health. Okay, so you lied to me. You just said the unit will never recover health. But it will recover health when a nearby unit dies. Which one is it then, game? Ranged Marauder. Plus 30% damage against non-mechanical units. Only visible from close range. It is 1000, so that seems a little bit steep for units that will never recover health. Well, with this one exception. Might be more useful a little bit later. Or I can wait for the agent and get the manpower. Anyway, let's grab this village here and the lake. I might wait for the armory and see if I can improve my units before attacking. Because this is 3 versus 3. With basically the same exact setup, sort of. I should win, but I guess I could always run away. We will lose health every day when we enter this area. Just something to keep in mind. What could possibly go wrong? Alright, worst case scenario, I'll just run away, I guess. But we should be fine. They are weaker than we are. Oh yeah, we're fine.
As fast as these
Here, avoid the death. Yeah, maybe back up because he will take damage just from being in here. And we got survival training. So there's the armory. Military units gain +1 armor. Right, unlocks the war banner unit, but I won't be able to recruit him yet because they require fuel cells, which I do not have. +5 command points. Can choose to pay +50% of the price to recruit units in +100% of the time, giving them permanent +20% health and +20% power. That sounds pretty nice. Unlocks the maintenance center. Let's unlock agent recruitment. Because that's a pretty important part of this game, agents. Alright then, we can annex 64 authority. So just need to wait, hopefully without getting killed. It's 10% damage per day, so not that bad, I guess. We'll leave. Another village. And the village over here. Alright. So this will give me instant plus 1000 hegemony. We need to have 25,000. That will take some time. Now, once you get to 2500, you unlock buildings in your main city, your outpost. Which are also pretty important, but they are also quite expensive. So we'll check those out when we get 2500, which we're basically about to get. So there's the agent. You can assign agents to a few different things. You can also run missions using intel. And some of these missions, especially the later ones, can be really powerful. You can straight up assassinate an enemy leader eventually, like right at the end. It takes time to get there, and it takes resources, but you can do it. It's one of the ways to win and eliminate the opposing factions. There are some pretty important missions in here, and taking advantage of them can definitely turn the tide of a single battle or even the entire game. Extra supply daily. The military unit with the most power in the region gets plus 3% power. I feel like this is a really good synergy with the champion mechanic that we have, because our faction gets one unit, or two units in this case, that are way more powerful than any other units that we have. And we can permanently gain extra power for them too. Now, what I might want to do first is get more authority because of how important it is, which means we want to assign the agent here. This will also allow me to use the agent on discoveries, if I want to do that. But it will give us +1 authority and +1 intel. And this map gets plus 50% intel generation. And there are quite a few resources in this game. Here's our intel. Alright, so do we want to assign the agent right away? 28 manpower. We can get that Fremen guy. That's a good deal. I wouldn't actually be paying anything for this guy, as opposed to the two mercenaries that would have costed me 1000. This guy is effectively free. Advances a random accessible development by 4 days. Yeah, you can speed up your research a lot by these kinds of bonuses, so that's pretty useful. So it would speed up one of these free. Okay. 36 authority. Yeah, let's grab that, because again, we need that for expansion. As much of it as possible, as quickly as possible. Hold on, I can't yet. I have to conquer this territory first. Right here, this one. And then we can get it. Let's grab that Fremen then. It will make it a little bit faster to capture things. New village controlled. What are the actual bonuses in here? Plus 20% statecraft buildings resource production. Plus 20% economy buildings. Well, we probably want to focus on research in here because of this bonus. Plus 100% research hub resource production. That's what we want. And now I have 4000 hegemony. That was quick. Yeah, so we reached the threshold. We need 5000 for the next one. But now I can actually get buildings in my outpost. Now, the way this system works is that you have these 3 districts over here with 3 building slots, 2 building slots, and 1 building slot. And depending on what you build in here, you can get an extra bonus on the right-hand side of this panel. So, for example, if I build 2 statecraft buildings here, I will get the second statecraft bonus. Plus 2 influence production, plus 5 intel production. If I build 1 building here, I will get the first bonus. If I get 3 in here, I will get the third bonus. So that's how it works. And some of them are pretty good. Like the military one gives you more armor to all units, or more power to all units. Plus 2 power to military units. So that's quite a lot. If you consider, like my squire unit, for example, has 13 power. So, in terms of percentages, that's a pretty big increase right there. Plus 1 armor is also quite a lot. Like the Musketeer has 3 armor, the Squire has 5 armor. So +1 armor is a pretty big deal. Then we have economy, 30 Solari production, reduces the cost of economy development. Right, the first bonus in each reduces the cost of development of that type of research by 20%. But yeah, as you can see, these are not cheap. 1000 gold and 500 materials, plus 30% manpower production, plus 25% knowledge, plus 15% hegemony gains, plus 30% authority production. Yeah, these are all good bonuses. I think early on is best to get authority, and I could grab the economic research bonus right away. That sounds reasonable. So let's build that. And in the village, we want a research hub. Yep. Well, there you go. Maybe some militia. You will eventually have to defend. And it can be a little bit challenging sometimes. There are various ways to move quickly. Different factions have different methods of like quick transport. But if you don't have quick transport available, it can take a pretty long time to move from one end of the map to another. So if you're under attack somewhere, but you don't have any quick transportation, it can take you a while to get there and defend. Okay, so here's the council, and we can vote. So normally we have 100 votes that we can use, like this, but we can also pay influence to get more votes, but we don't have to. The selected faction gains plus 30% authority production, so obviously we want to secure this. Especially since I'm also getting a building that would give me another 30% right now. The selected faction gains minus 50% Solari upkeep. So I don't care as much about this one, but we can use like 10 votes. All factions gain 3 Landsrat guards who will appear next to the main base. Yeah, these guys are pretty powerful. Smuggler Bounty. 20 Solari will be granted per vote cast on support on this resolution. Okay. Really? Per vote? Okay, alright. That's a lot of money. Might be worth to just dump most of our influence here. I could use the money. Alright, let's go with that. And the vote will end in 5 days. Also, eventually you can get some extra bonuses here up top if you fill all the requirements. And some of them are pretty powerful. So, for example, as Speaker of the Council, you can reroll one resolution at the start of each council. That's really powerful, but it takes a while to get that. You need to spend 1000 influence on votes since the game started, and have enough standing. Use 40 command points. This allows you to train Landsrat judges. Yeah, have 2 charters for this one. Water production. Right, plus 2 Solari per positive water. And the village water production cannot be reduced by any effect. And you need to produce 50 water for this one. And Eye of the Council. You get 2 extra agents with a special council trait. So you need to have 7 assigned agents for this one. There's quite a lot to this game. Alright, so you want to move in this direction. We're about to get that Fremen guy. Once this is complete, that will give us an extra unit. So I might as well wait for that. We have a trade request. He wants influence and materials from me. I don't think I'm really interested. Right, this is the trade screen, obviously, where you can trade some resources. You can go to war. You can have an aggression pact and things like that. So here are some treaties. Now, they do have some requirements. This is like the research requirement, the development requirement. Plus 2 knowledge, plus 20% research speed for development already discovered by the other faction. Reminds me of the Civ 5 bonus. Plus 3 Solari production in villages. Plus 3% Solari production, but minus 10% authority production. Yeah, more influence, lower treaty upkeep costs, but less authority. There is a non-aggression pact here, so I could suggest this. Raises relationship level to truce. Breaks current sieges. +5 lands are outstanding after every council while the truce is active. We can suggest that. Let's see if he accepts. Oh yeah, he accepted. Okay, there we go. So our diplomatic status has now improved. Oh, here, energy sources. This will give us fuel cells, which are required for our next unit that we'll be unlocking. The war banner. And for some other units. What the heck is this? Monument? What? Wait, what is this even supposed to be? Broadcasts one of 2 songs in a large area. A quasi non-mechanical units in a large area gain plus 20% power. Any non-mechanical unit in a large area suffers minus 50% attack speed. What? That seems really powerful. Cannot investigate the discoveries. Cannot occupy villages nor contest their occupation. Cannot target village buildings. Consume Solari to heal. Okay, alright. That seems very powerful. Mechanical targets suffer plus 30% damage received. Minus 20% damage received per other quasi non-mechanical unit nearby. Cannot be executed if there is at least one other non-mechanical unit nearby. Yeah, this guy would make for a good champion unit. So this requires what? Yeah, 10,000 hegemony bonus. So we're not quite there yet. So what about this armory thing? Too many things happening all at once. Can attack flying units at short range with half power. Plus 5 upkeep. Plus 2 armor, but minus 2 power. Okay. Well, I mean, keep in mind, these here... Whoops, I didn't want to do that. These here are mechanical units. This is a mechanical unit. Well, it's a ship. I assume that counts as mechanical. And also, this one here is a ship. So these 2 units at the bottom are ships. I assume that means they count as mechanical units. Where were we? Right, armory. So right now I do have 2 squires. We can get plus 2 armor, but minus 2 power for them. That seems like a decent deal, actually. They have what? 5 armor, 13 power. That should make them way more tanky. Plus 15% max health, minus 1 power. Okay. Plus minus 50% area damage received, minus 1 armor. More health, but minus 1 power. That actually seems good, too. A less extreme version of heavy armor, in a sense. This does cost 500, so it's obviously not free. And we do have 1 musketeer. Plus 10% power. Plus 10 Solari upkeep. Okay, so this more than doubles their upkeep. Their upkeep is normally 8. This more than doubles it. But plus 10% power. Plus 25% damage against non-mechanical units. But minus 25% damage against mechanical units. Okay. Most units will be fighting should be non-mechanical. But this would make him really bad against mechanical units. So that's the same thing as the squire here. Plus 15% max health, minus 1 power. And this is also the same. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty expensive. I might just wait for now. Because I need money for other things. Like buildings. And let's get this Fremen and we'll go attack the village. Alright, research is done. We could grab composite materials. Plus 0.25 knowledge per controlled village unlocks the research agreement. Could grab composite materials. Military units gain plus 1 armor. Unlocks the barracks building in advanced outpost. Right, what building do I want to unlock? We could get 2 military buildings here and get plus 1 armor to all our military units. This is the barracks. Plus 10% power to all military units. Plus 30% experience gains. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's get army logistics then. Yeah, and this is where we can assign a champion, but we need 5,000 hegemony first. It costs 1,000 gold, but it adds 200 health. So this guy's health is 525, for example. It adds plus 2 power and plus 2 armor. Yeah, I feel like with this faction, you will eventually be able to stack a lot of bonuses on champion units. I could see them getting extremely powerful later on. Alright, let's just wait for this Fremen. Still finishing the research hub. Okay, do I want... Right, I haven't actually unlocked the maintenance center yet. So this is the airfield. This allows you to move units around fast. But it does have a limited range. We will obviously want more than one, eventually. And it's not cheap in terms of upkeep. 12 gold upkeep. I actually need to work on my gold. What were the bonuses here again? More intel per space statecraft building. +2 intel production when the village has at least one building of each type. Okay, we can get that pretty easily. Water, 18. +20% economy buildings resource production. Okay, I might want that. Still working on the research hub. I just want more money right now. I think that should be the priority. How's that vote? Voting will end in 4 days. Alright, give me the results already. I want my authority bonus, and I want my gold pile. Yeah, I need to unlock the knight. Minus 20% damage received per other Ekazi non-mechanical unit nearby. But wait, it doesn't say anything about a cap on this. It also doesn't say whether it's additive or multiplicative. So, I don't know if you can get minus 100% damage received if it's additive and doesn't have a cap. Sounds like maybe you can. Which would then imply the enemy would have to kill your other units before they can damage this guy. I don't know if that's how it works, but it's a potential implication. Okay, there's the research lab. So now I want some money. Yeah, here, wholesale market, plus 4.8 Solari production, we need that. The wind level is good in here, for water. But I need the money, I really need the money. Oh, we got some neutrals coming. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got the 3 extra units. Now I'll have a pretty good army, at least temporarily. We did get plus 30% authority production. I beat them by 20 votes. And we got the money for this vote here. It was 20 Solari for each vote. So now we have 2.3k. That was a really nice gold boost. Alright, now we are getting plus 7 authority. That should help our expansion speed for sure. Let's kill this guy. This is like a raid. Yeah, it's a raider. Where do you think you're going? Are you guys fighting or what? Is he confused about life? He is a bit confused. There, point of interest investigated. So now we can grab the Fremen right here. And suddenly I have an army. I have a whole damn army now. Now I can send my agent elsewhere. So let's see, what was this? Advances a random accessible development by 4 days. Yeah, let's grab this. In theory, I could get both national metals and martial perfectionism and then boost one of these, because this will boost one of the accessible developments. But it's a flat 4-day boost, not a percentage boost. So let's just grab it right away. Okay, kill this raider and let's go already. Construction complete. Right, so we finished the administrative hall. And now we unlocked this economy bonus right here. And we got the bonuses from the building itself, obviously. So now I'm getting plus 8 authority. And we were at what, like plus 4, plus 5 just a few days ago? I pretty much doubled my authority production. Alright, now we should probably work on composite materials. Especially since we can do it 20% faster. Yeah, plus 1 maximum crew in harvesters. What harvesters? I don't know what that is. Where we're going, we don't need any harvesters. Alright, let's go take this.
Let's